This geography revision video is on a case study for coastal management, and the place is Holderness, which is located in East Yorkshire. And the objective of this video is to be able to answer a case study question on coastal management. The case study's questions are worth 9 marks with an additional 3 marks for good written communication. So this is your spelling, your punctuation and your grammar. So where is Holderness then? Well, first of all, it's in the northeast of England and it's located in East Yorkshire. It's just next to the North Sea, and it's one of the fastest eroding coastlines in Europe. It erodes at a rate of 1.8 metres every single year. This is a map of Holderness, and you can see the dark black line, that's the current outline of the coast. But just to the right hand side of that, there is a fainter line. Now this is where the coastline used to be. It's since been eroded, so all of the small red dots, they were towns and villages along the coastline. They're no longer there, they've been lost to sea due to the erosion. We're going to be focusing at a couple of places on this coastline. We can see Flamborough Head in the north and Sperm Point in the south. That's the stretch of coastline we're looking at. We're going to look in particular at Mappleton and Withernsea. This picture shows you 3 types of coastal protection that we're going to be looking at for this case study. We've got a seawall, which is made of concrete. We've got groins that in this photograph are made of wood, but in particular in Mappleton we're going to be looking at rock groins. And you can see some riprap, or rock armour as it's also known, which are big boulders of rock that go in front of the coastline in order to absorb some of the energy. Okay, so Mappleton first of all then, they have rock groins at Mappleton, and they trap the material that is brought there by longshore drift. Okay, so it stops longshore drift occurring. That builds up the beach in front of Mappleton, which means that the sand is going to absorb some of the energy and it's not going to be as eroded as quickly. However, after the last groin, the longshore drift is not going to be transporting sediment or sand further down the coastline. So the stretch of coastline further down is not going to have anything that's taking up the energy of the sea. So that sea is going to be crashing straight into the cliff, and it's going to be eroding much faster. This relates to a video that we have watched about a farmer who lives just down the coastline from Mappleton, and his farm is being eroded really quickly, and that's because the rock groins are stopping the sand from moving due to longshore drift to come in front of his coastline. It's economically unsustainable in the short term because it's very expensive to get the rock groins there. However, in the long term it does protect the properties in Mappleton, however not those ones that are further down the coastline. We also have rock armour at Withernsea. So the rocks are the big boulders that are put in front of the cliffs or the town, and they absorb some of the energy of the waves to stop the erosion or to slow it down. However, between each of the rocks there are gaps, and that is where the energy of the waves can get into, and they can slowly, very slowly start to erode. So the rocks, although they will slow down erosion for quite a long time, they're not going to last forever. They are going to need replacing, which could be expensive. Next of all, we have the seawall at Withernsea. So a seawall is generally a concrete structure, and it can either be put back in steps, it can be straight up, or it can have a curved top part in order to make the wave follow the curve of the wall and go back out to sea. So it is absorbing the energy of the waves, and it's protecting the land that's placed behind the seawall. The concrete is very expensive. It's not economically sustainable in the short term. However, it will be protecting homes and local businesses, so just behind the seawall, so that will be economically sustainable in the long term. So an exam question that you might get for coastal management would be to describe how the stretch of coastline has been managed in a particular area and explain how sustainable it is. So during this video I have explained 3 different methods: seawall, rock armour or riprap, and the rock groins. They're the 3 methods, and I've also mentioned how sustainable they are both in the short term and the long term. You should refer to social, economic and environmental sustainability in your answer. It's worth 9 marks. 3 marks are going to be awarded for how well you write this answer in terms of your spelling, punctuation and your grammar. I would give yourself about 15 minutes to have a go at this question, and then we'll go through some of the mark scheme. Good luck. Okay, so the case study answers are marked in terms of banded levels. So for a level 1 answer, you're going to be getting between 1 and 3 marks, and it's going to be because you've made very simplistic comments which haven't been developed, and you're not going to have included some of the key facts like the names of the places, the types of methods that were used, some of the costs of the methods that were implemented, or how sustainable they have been. You also will have had quite a few mistakes in how you've written your answer in terms of your spelling, punctuation and your grammar. For level 2, you're going to be making a little bit more developed comments, so you'll have made a point and you will have said this means that or therefore. You will have a couple of mistakes in your written communication, but on the whole it will be a good answer. And you're going to be getting between 5 and 7 marks for this question. For level 3, you're going to be using a lot of key terms and place-specific information in terms of where you're looking and the types of methods that we use. You're going to have really strong links to sustainability in terms of social, economic and environmentally, and you're going to have written really clearly with your spelling, punctuation and your grammar. For level 3, you should make sure that you've definitely included the place names, the costs of the different methods and the management methods that have been used in order to reduce erosion along this coastline. Hope this has been helpful.